How's it going, people? It's JJ here, back with some more Pokemon Scarlet. Last time, we continued our trek down here to the bottom of Area Zero, making our way to the bottom, and even finding more Paradox Pokemon like Great Tusk, which we battled previously, and Screamtail, which we actually caught one of our own. Even Fluttermane, which I also caught. But the professor is acting strangely, and we've been given our next objective. Enter the lab, face down the Pokemon inside, and confront the professor. So, we'll do just that. Open the gate to Lab Zero, or Zero Lab. Yes. Arvin? Question mark? I mean, Karada will be a good help. Does make sense. Alright, I don't see why not. Another Koraidon? Here it is. Doesn't look like a happy reunion, though. Yeah, that was not a family reunion. Probably. Yeah. Two out of the three we've already seen before. The other one, however, we're surrounded. Then let's do it. First off, Great Tusk. Really poor choice by Nimona here. 64. The Great Tusk, I believe, has Rapid Spin, Brick Break, I want to say Stomping Tantrum, and Close Combat? Question mark, I have the moveset here. I'll just pull it up real quick. So yeah, Stomping Tantrum, Brick Break, Close Combat, and Rapid Spin. It will be the first of the three... Okay, yeah. Thank goodness it wasn't me. First of the three Pokemon we're going to be facing here, which I think is going to be three. Well, three different species at least. So I'm assuming we're going to be facing the second Pokemon with Penny. I like the way Fluttermane's little fluttering wings things look behind these. Look behind me. Yeah, still can't talk. This Pokemon looks sussy. Ha 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 ha. Funny joke. But it is actually called Brute Bonnet. It is a Grass and Dark type, level 64 as well, with the moves Sucker Punch, Spore, Gigadream, and Thrash. Unlike Amoonguss, it's actually a physical attacker, while still having much of the same properties as Amoonguss itself. Not the... Again, it's not the best, but not the worst. It's kind of like Screamtail. There's a purpose for it, but it its typing, which is Grass and Dark, doesn't really help it out too much. But last but not least, we've seen it before, and I just talked about it. I just talked about it. Excuse me. She probably is. It's just me and Arvin then. And we start with Fluttermane. Once again, level 64. Ghost and Fairy type, with the moves Shadow Ball, Mystical Fire, Power Gem, and Psyshock. Just like the one I caught, I believe. My boss is not the best choice, but not the worst. However, they left the scariest one for last because Fluttermane is very strong. Very speedy, good special stats. If you're not careful, this thing can sweep entire teams. Not this one specifically, but in general. But thankfully it went down rather easily. Sorry if the audio is a bit loud here. Let me see if I can turn it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Alright, if you say so, Arvin. Understood. I'm sure my boss Tiff is ready to go now that it's fully healed, too. You really ruined my whole childhood. You had no childhood of your own. And that's all we can do as well. So, with no other objectives left to us, the only thing we can do is head into the lab. Looks like a mess. And there she is. That's not something a normal person would say. Oh boy. That thing is hers? Dun dun dun! But if she's not Sada, who is she? Well, that explains the creepy stillness in her figure. And the real professor died. She sacrificed herself to save Karaidon. Well, that's an information bomb, if there ever was one. Booster energy. This item is used for all the Paradox Pokemon, regardless of their whatever game they're from. It'll work on all of them. AI stands for artificial intelligence, but how is she going to explain it? Created by a human being? Okay. So that's why she can't leave. Well, we already explained that she died. And the time machine itself. So it's basically a reverse PC in a way? But what does the AI want? So because they're so from the ancient time, they can't adapt to the modern day. So in essence, it's basically just culture shock. So the real Professor Sada messed up. The AI knows she messed up, but she can't really do anything because it's in her programming. And it hurts to do, but we're gonna have to shut it all down. And to shut it down, might have to stop Sada, who's probably programmed to stop us. And this arena is so cool. And this is it. This is where we have to shut everything down. Team's more or less fully healed. Nothing else to really say, but let's do it. Called it. She's programmed to stop us. And she's even programmed to have studied every champion of Paldea. But even then, she still has faith in us. Okay. No other option then. If that ain't dope, I don't know what is. This music, though. She starts off with a new Paradox Pokemon, Slitherwing. Slitherwing is one of the two Paradox forms of Volcarona. Level 66, Bug Fighting type. With the moves, I believe it has close combat. Lunge, Leech Life, Low Sweep, and Zen Headbutt. Starting off with Maverick here because it's the best option we have. Just shy of taking it out. Low Sweep to lower our speed. Slitherwing is very physically oriented. Obviously, I mean. But it's just fast enough now. Hmm. very physically oriented. It's one of the better paradox forms. It feels weird seeing a Volcarona stand up, even if it is a paradox form. But that's one down. Who's standing on next? Brute Bonnet. It is dark type. What can it do? I think best bet is going to be Sea Titan here. But Glacius, her Brute Bonnet, also level 66. All of her Pokemon have Photosynthesis, by the way, didn't forget to mention that. It has Earth Power, Giga Drain, Payback, and Sucker Punch. Very odd considering, as I mentioned, Brute Bonnet is a physical attacker. But because all these Pokemon have high stats, of course it lives, and it's going to do some big damage back to us. Ice Shard should still take it out, though. Indeed it does. And next up is Fluttermane. I think Garganacl is the best bet here. Fluttermane, once again, level 66. Has Power Gem, Mystical Fire, Shadow Ball, and Thunderbolt. No fairy move, surprisingly. It's gonna outspeed though, it's gonna hurt. Good chunk of damage. And we actually OHKO it. Thankfully, I think Fluttermane has rather low physical defense, so it makes sense. Next is another new Paradox form, Sandy Shocks. I believe it is Ground and Electric, with the moves Discharge, Earth Power, Flash Cannon, and Power Gem. Sandy Shocks, actually most of her team is actually really strong, except for Brute Bonnet and Screamtail tend to be the kind of the lower tier ones, quote unquote. Sandy Shocks honestly might be one of my favorite ones because it's just so bizarre in that it's made of metal, but it's ground electric. It's kind of a callback to Gen 1 Magnemite, honestly, but it still lives. Speaking of Gen 1 Magneton, it's actually not too much different in terms of stats. Obviously, it's stronger, but it's still a special attacker. I think its speed is still decent, and its defenses are okay. Next is Screamtail. Mentioned these before. It's not even a physical attacker, it's more of a tank. But we do have Heavy Slam, and I think we should be really heavy compared to Screamtail. So Heavy Slam should do good damage. But for the moves, it has Play Rough, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Zen Headbutt. So maybe Garganacl was not the best choice here. Does outspeed us too. Doesn't do too much damage, but still. How much does this do? Over half. That's perfectly fine. Next blow should finish it. Taking heavy damage here though, but I don't think it matters too much in this battle. This Heavy Slam should finish it. And now to her ace Pokemon, and what they intended to be the strongest Paradox, available at least. Roaring Moon. Sending out Tinker Train for this. Roaring Moon is a level 67. Same ability, Photosynthesis. And it's 6 against 1. I think we're going to be fine. Roaring Moon is a Salamence Paradox. It is Dark Dragon, and that item was Booster Energy, which we collected one of earlier, boosting its attack stat even higher. It has the moves Dragon Claw, Night Slash, Stone Edge, and Earthquake. So Fake Out for sure. If we can tank this hit, I think Play Rough should be more than enough since it's quad weak to Fairy, but it's just a matter of can we live this hit? We don't. Roaring Moon is actually very similar to Salaman's in that its attack is very good, and its speed is also very good as well. Do we outspeed it? We can, but we miss. We're dead. And that was a crit too, just to rub it in. I think I'm gonna have to use a revive here. Yeah. Gonna use this time to heal up. I have 109. If I wanted to, I could stall this thing out, but I really do not want to. If I can somehow take a hit with Palafin, plus leftovers too, I can at least heal up to full. Which I will gladly do. Should have figured that Earthquake would take us out in one hit since it is +2 plus boost of energy. But we really cannot afford to keep missing like that. We need this play rough to land. And it does indeed, Oko. Thank goodness. And with one last level up, we defeat Professor Sada. The AI, at least. And they managed to catch up too. Yeah, we kind of did. Sorry, Nimona. Not an army. Something just as bad, though. Okay. That transition, though? Sending out Koraidon. But we can't even do anything. We don't have a Pokemon with Sada's ID. Put everyone else in danger. Our team's fully healed, but what's it gonna matter? We can't even use them. Can't even switch because nothing's out in the field. There's nothing we can do. We can't even use items either. What can we do? No X items, no potions. Can't battle. How do we advance here, actually? There is one Pokemon we can use, though. Can't believe I didn't see this before. My bad. And so, we finally get to use Koraidon ourselves. In this Koraidon mirror match, Koraidon's ability can now be put into place. Orichalcum Pulse is essentially Drought, but allows you to activate the ability of photosynthesis. So it works well with Groudon too. The enemy Koraidon, though, level 72, with the moves Giga Impact, Bulk Up, Taunt, and Flamethrower. If anyone's playing Violet, they face Miraidon with Hyper Beam, Charge, Taunt, and Protect. Both of them are holding an item. In this case, it is a Heat Rock to extend the sun, and for Miraidon, a terrain extender to extend its electric terrain brought on by its ability, Hadron Engine. For us, we have Flamethrower boosted by the sun, Terra Blast, which we can't really use. Well, we can, but it's not going to do much. Endure to tank hits, and Koraidon's signature move, Collision Course. Koraidon itself is level 68. And let's just go right to it with Collision Course. Taunt means we cannot use Endure, but we're not going to use it anyway. When it comes to typing, Koraidon is Dragon Fighting, and Miraidon is Dragon Electric. Flamethrower gets boosted, but I don't know how much damage it's gonna do. It's gonna use Flamethrower itself. Yeah, we do no damage. What about Terra Blast? Oh, it's using Bulk Up. It has Giga Impact too, so that's kind of scary. Uh, I mean, I have X items. This might be a good time to use them. X Defense, boosted the defense, because it's using Bulk Up now. There's that Giga Impact. Ooh, good thing I used it. And our attack rose too. Why exactly? I was gonna use the next attack too, but and we can terrestrialize now too, from the looks of it. I mean, I can terrestrialize, but I gotta heal. Stat buffs too. They really do not want us to lose here. I gotta heal because this thing is doing damage. And I used a hyper potion. I should be using a max potion. How much does this do now? Low damage. That's fine. Okay. The fact that she said super effective means Terra Dragon. That makes sense. The opposing legendary will have its Terra based off its secondary typing. So fighting for this Koraidon, and then electric for Miraidon. And there's Terra Blast Dragon. And that just tucked. Oh, dang, we wrecked it. And with it, we take down AI Sada too. You gotta wonder though, for Pokemon Violet, we have Professor Turo, which is who's Arvin's dad. Where would Turo still be the same person in Scarlet? And if so, where is he? Same thing for Sada and Violet. And I suppose that's that. Sorry for the quick cut there. I had to make sure the recording wouldn't go for too long. This episode's already going to be super long to begin with. Leave it to Penny. What should we do now? Only thing we can do. Let's go home. Find our own way home. Another extremely long loading screen here. If the game crashes right now, I'll be ticked off. Kinda worried it actually might have just crashed. Okay, thank goodness. That was absurdly long, like a minute for loading screen. And with that, the adventure is over. And I think this song is copyright, so I am going to go back onto the home screen here. I'm not even going to risk that because your boy ain't rich, and your boy ain't going to deal with that. But as the credits roll in the game, I gotta say, I think I really enjoyed Pokemon Scarlet. For as much as, while the performance issues can be definitely annoying, the fact that you have three different storylines, varying difficulty, it's a step in the right direction, I think, for Pokemon itself. In terms of at least gameplay. There's always going to be issues. This game is definitely not perfect, but I definitely enjoyed it. Mm. As for what's to come, there's probably going to be maybe one more episode of this series before we end it off. But the only thing that's really there now, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The only thing that's left now is one event following the credits, and that's gonna be it for now. Until there's DLC at least, and you guys get to see how late I'm staying up to record this. So I hope you guys get a laugh out of that. But I mentioned this a few times already. I don't want to play strictly Pokemon for this channel. So, and I've only really picked up Pokemon Scarlet because it was coming out just when I finished Legends Arceus. But I guess I can finally tell you guys I have settled on a new project. So once Pokemon Scarlet is finally done with, when I have the opportunity to, I will start my next series, which is Kingdom Hearts 1.5, which I'll be playing on the PS4, and hopefully it'll be fun times. But for now, this has been the longest episode of Pokemon Scarlet, and I will see you guys for the bonus episode. Peace.